This movie is brought to you by the following sponsors. Hello everyone, Big Clinky here, and welcome to a new cinematic tale. Persona Q2 New Cinema Labyrinth. The sequel to the original Persona Q, and a mechanical crossover between the Persona series and Etrian Odyssey. A franchise that, let's just say, might be a little more in the spotlight to Atlus fans these days for reasons that are spoilers for a big major release. You don't need to have played the first Q to appreciate this at all, because this is one of those mind-wipe crossovers. There is no continuity whatsoever. But it is recommended that you are at least familiar with the Phantom Thieves, Seas, and the Investigation team, because yes, this game will feature all three of them. The party is absolutely packed, and they've also greatly refined the battle system since the original Persona Q, which is one of the main highlights of this. So, well, before we get right into it, I'm going to do one thing in the config menu. I'm going to set auto map to on. All this does is fill in walls automatically. I prefer this. Everything else about mapping is manual. The rest of the options, I think I'll go over once I'm in the game itself. So let's start our new file. So we have access to 1, 2, 3, 4 difficulty levels in this game, and there actually isn't a ton of documentation online about how these work, so I have decided to conduct science myself, and I have concluded that on easy and safety, you deal 25% more damage and take 25% less, while on hard and risky, you deal 25% less and take 25% more. You also gain 20% less experience on hard and risky, but you gain 20% more experience on easy and safety. The main difference between safety and risky is that on safety, you're able to retry any battle at any time. There's basically zero consequences for losing. It's just there if you want to enjoy the story. As for risky versus hard, on risky, you are forced to have Joker in your party at all times. Yeah, you can actually leave out the protag from the party on every other difficulty. And if he goes down, it is an immediate game over. Also, risky is the only lock-in difficulty in this game. You can't go from any of the other three to risky, and if you choose risky at the start, you can't drop down from risky. But unlike many other Persona games, safety is not a lock-in. You're free to go up from safety, or down from hard to safety if, say, you want to grind more easily. So, I'm going to be playing this on hard for the most part. I feel like risky is a little bit too excessive, and the lock-in is going to make grinding a lot harder, and considering that I want to try and give every party member the spotlights, I'm going to need to do some grinding every now and then. So, let's begin with hard mode. Oh yeah, I should also warn people, if you are not too confident in your JRPG skills, I would not recommend hard mode. This game has some very brutal boss fights, especially the first one. So now we're entering the protagonist's name, and yep, his name may be seen by other players through data exchange. This is Street Pass, which is a thing in this game. Unfortunately, there's not enough space to enter his canon name of Ren Amamiya, so I have to leave out the Y. But it's going to be pronounced the same way regardless. Is this name acceptable? Yes it is. It's not Gary Stu after all. I think we've moved beyond that by now. Go away, Yaldabaoth, you can't affect us in here. He's canonically not dead at this point in the timeline, so he's technically still out there, but let's just hope that he's not much of an influence. Yeah, I will warn you, I may be giving some Persona 5 spoilers. I'll try to avoid, like, really, really big ones. That thing that I just said probably shouldn't mean much out of context. Speaking of Persona spoilers, that butterfly there, still heavily implied to be Philemon. Jean-Jacques Rousseau, I'm terrible at pronouncing French, was a Genevan philosopher of French descent whose works contributed quite heavily to the French Revolution. Kind of fitting to the Phantom Thieves. Of course, we start the game. being woken up by a cat, whose face is humongous. And of course, I should now address the elephant in the room. I'm playing this game with Japanese voices. Why? Because there's no other option. This game only released with a Japanese dub, which makes sense. It came out in 2019, when the Switch was already in full swing. This is a 3DS game, it should be pretty obvious. I can understand why Atlus thought it wasn't worth the effort to find the entire cast of Persona 3, 4, and 5 and pay them for a game that probably wasn't going to make them much money. But, you know, the Japanese voice actors are still good.
蝶って何の話だ。おいおい、しっかりしろよ。変な夢でも見たのか?
This is Joker. When does he not have weird dreams? Also, Morgana, you're one to talk. You've had that weird monster dream for quite a while at this point.
さて、目が覚めたなら帰るぞ。今日の予定を決めないとな。ここんとこいろいろあったから疲れが出てるのかもな。
So, this game for the Phantom Thieves is set approximately at some point during the 6th Palace arc, which would be around November, I think.
我が輩もサポートしてやるから踏ん張ってくれよ。
And there's a very specific reason why. It's so that you can have the full party.
よし、帰ろうぜ。
Oh yeah, important note, this game predates Royal, so you won't be seeing Yoshizawa here, sadly. Or any references to Maruki, also sadly.
よっしゃー！授業終わった。地獄だったぜ。
Yeah, that is literally what he said in Japanese, Jigoku is hell. So yeah, here's Ryuji, and this music, this is a remix. I've missed this. Like, I've missed the Persona 5 music and the characters. So yeah, Ryuji's Japanese VA does just as good a job as Max Minnemann. In fact, here's one thing that I feel about the Phantom Thieves that you'll kind of notice as we hear more of them in Japanese. To me, their Japanese and English voices sound nearly identical, in terms of, like, the overall tone, and in terms of how they play the character.
おい、リュウジ、気が抜けてるぞ。
ちげえよ。最近怪盗団のこと考えてたらあんま眠れなくてよ。
You probably shouldn't be saying that out in public.
今日も授業中思いっきり寝ちまった。
Well, that means you didn't get an academics boost.
リュウジは前から居眠りしてるだろう。
Oh, wait, that's Persona 3. Yeah, I've got that on the brain, because that was the last. I'm pretty sure, yeah, that was the Strikers. Yeah, I kind of played those about the same time.
うっせ。で、今日は怪盗団の活動どうすんだ?
Yeah, that usse is a very, like, colloquial way of saying shut up. Ryuji talks in a pretty, yeah, very casual way.
次の期限まで時間あるけど、とりあえずアジトに集まんね。お前余裕だな。まあ俺もラーメンは食いたい。
おいおい、晩飯には早いだろう。アジトに集まろうぜ。あ、みんな。
And of all the other Phantom Thieves to show up next, I wasn't expecting Haru.
あ、ちょうどいい。今アジトに行こうって話してたとこ。
I guess they really wanted to have her beat the screen time allegations.
私、今日は放課後まるまる時間取れるよ。会社の件もひとまず落ち着いたし。
And by settle down in the company, you mean, again, Persona 5 spoilers, if you know, you know.
リュウジ、みんなに連絡しとけ。
オッケー。アジトに集合っと。返信早っ。みんなルブランに来れるってや。
じゃあ行きましょう。
Yeah, I do think Haru's Japanese VA sounds very similar to Xanthi's performance as her. I don't really know many of these VAs by name, apart from Joker's, which I'm pretty sure is the same VA as Lelouch from Code Geass, that's the name. Wow, can't believe that escaped me.
よし、今日はメメントスの攻略で全会一致だな。いいな、双葉。了解。ナビ頑張ろう。
And we get these fun little intros to the characters. They are pretty stylish. Like, yeah, for a game that released late into the 3DS's lifespan, you can't really fault it for lack of polish. I also love the orange shadows that all of the Phantom Thieves have around them. It looks pretty nice. Anyway, codename Oracle, foster daughter of the boss, is currently providing my lodgings, hacker extraordinaire and former shut-in, very shy around strangers. But around non-strangers, she's extremely not shy, which is extremely, you know, very, very, very neurodivergent coded. There's gonna be a lot of neurodivergence coding in this game, by the way.
私はまだみんなに比べて不慣れだし、精進しないと。
So yeah, Haru's been around only for one arc at this point. Codename Noir, 3rd year at Shujin High and senpai to the rest of the gang. Senpai is like a higher grade in high school. The only daughter of the Okumura Foods Corporation presidents. And it's going to stay that way.
春は全然やってけるよ。上達早すぎ。
On Takamaki, codename Panther, 2nd year classmate, 1/4 American and part-time magazine model. Bright and cheerful, cares deeply for her friends.
ねえ、誠、メメントスもいいけど、パレス攻略は大丈夫？問題ないわ。実力を磨くのは大事よ。失敗は許されない作戦だしね。
Yeah, I really don't know if it's just me, but I actually think the Phantom Thieves almost all sound like there is no difference between their English and Japanese voices in my head. That will change for the other parties. The P4 cast in particular sounds very different in Japanese. I'll get to my thoughts on that later. Makoto Nijima, codename Queen, 3rd year senpai and student council president, accomplished in both literary and martial arts, very moral and upstanding, but a bit socially awkward. Also dating Rayonet, I'm pretty sure at this point in my playthrough.
俺はメメントスの探索好きだぞ。あの空間感じるものが多い。
So yeah, I definitely know Yusuke's Japanese VA, it's Tomokazu Sugita, and that's because he has the same VA as Chrom from Fire Emblem in both Japanese and English. Yusuke Kitagawa, codename Fox, 2nd year student at Corsair High, with mature, distinct aesthetic sensibilities. His future as an artist is foreseeable to all who meet him. A unique individual with giant air quotes.
我が輩もあそこには興味津々だ。何かあると思うんだよな。
So, important to note is that in Japanese, Morgana refers to himself as Wagahai, which is a very haughty and archaic first-person pronoun in Japanese. This is a reference to the book Wagahai wa Neko de Aru by Soseki Natsume, who you will know if you've played Great Ace Attorney. He's considered one of, like, the big, like, authors of Japanese history. The original novel was actually a satire, though. Codename Mona, an outspoken, mysterious being, not, you know, a certain species of animal, who we met within the metaverse. He can take various forms, from an ordinary black censored to a full-size drivable vehicle.
ま、パレスでもメメントスでもやることやるだけだ。
And here is Ryuji himself, Ryuji Sakamoto, codename Skull, 2nd year and former top runner for the track team. Hot-blooded yet compassionate and caring, often rushed into things without thinking first. See, honestly, I think this is actually a good description of Ryuji. Like, I like all these character descriptions, but the first Q got a lot of complaints for quote-unquote flanderizing the characters. I will say I think it's a lot better in this game. It definitely still happens, mostly to Yusuke, but it's not quite as extreme as the first Q.
つうか、あいつはメメントスに連れてくの初めてだよな。
That guy! Yeah, a very dismissive way to refer to one of your teammates, and that might be foreshadowing.
なんなら置いてっちまっても。待たせたね。
Oh no, it's that guy! Ryuji, oh great, why'd I have to say it?
噂をすれば。
Yep, we jinxed it.
遅くなってごめん。仕事が立て込んでいてね。
We jinxed it. Goro Akechi, codename Crow. 3rd year high school student who is often referred to as the next Detective Prince due to his sharp deductions and fastidious appearance.
ところで聞こえたんだけど、メメントスだって？
is the gist,
了解だ。
as unused dialogue from Confidants would say. Yeah, my codename is Joker. I'm a second year at Shujin High and the leader of the Phantom Thieves. I'm currently living above Café LeBlanc. I've been put on probation due to a false accusation leveled against me. Yeah, that's pretty much a good summary.
これで全員揃ったな。よし、行こうぜ。
Welcome back to Persona 5 Royal, and here we are in one of my favorite sets of costumes in this game, the Shadow Operatives from Persona 4 Arena. We're going to be starting partway in because we still have some targets to take down on the path of, not Kaitul, of Axariath. And I often forget to use my down shot, so I'll do it here. You know, I will say, this is probably one of the very, very few costumes in this game that I would say still looks cool on Joker even without the coat. Normally his animations look really dumb without the coat on.
華麗な勝利だったぜ、ジョーカー。
Wait, where'd my outfits go?
メメントス。
Welcome, Mr. Gigantic Mask that could poke someone's eye out.
人の集合的無意識によって形成された、いわば大衆のパレス。
It is kind of funny they spend a while talking about what palaces are here when it's not actually super relevant to the plot of this game.
これもまた認知世界ってやつか。
Aside from the fact that they're part of the cognitive world.
最深部はどうなっているのか。知的好奇心がビシビシ刺激されるぞ。
Well, I mean, you literally have painted, a picture of it for your confidant.
でも、なんだかちょっと怖いところだよね。
Now I'm just remembering that, yeah, in vanilla Persona 5, this was the song that played for every area of Mementos. It wasn't until Royal that they gave each section its own theme.
私も最初は苦手だったかも。のんびりだべってると敵が来るぞ。モナ、車にチェンジだ。
So, okay, let me just also say this. Back when I first played this was like one of the first things that gave me hope for like better writing for the Persona 5 cast. I always felt the original localization of Persona 5 was a bit iffy in terms of its like just general script. But this game, despite being entirely Japanese audio, the English script writing is spot on, and in particular, Futaba definitely feels like a real, you know, that kind of person who uses NetSpeak all the time. And that's not like a dumb localization thing, because Futaba is that in Japanese 100%. You will definitely hear that. If you can understand her Japanese dialogue, which I can, for the most part.
モナちゃん、怖い顔してどうしたの？ああ、いや、メメントスの様子がいつもと違う気がしてな。
Yes, we all appear to be drawn in a different art style.
どこが？
変わんなくね？どう思う？ジョーカー。
So it is funny, like, they will voice Joker, but they won't voice the protagonist's actual name.
そうか。俺は鍛錬が足りないようだ。
私はいつも通りの気がするけどな。我が輩の気のせいか。
It makes sense Morgana would be a little more attuned to this kind of thing. Another if you know, you know. I do like how there's also little emotes in the speech bubbles.
じゃあ変身するぞ。みんな離れろ。
Henshin a go-go, baby!
猫が車になるなんて本当に面白い世界だ。
Please stop taking note, Takechi.
ちょっとね、一人増えたからますます攻めえぜ。
I do, in a way, I actually feel like the Mona bus does look a lot cuter in this art style.
すまないね。歩いていくわけにもいかないから。
ぶっちゃけ定員オーバーだよね。モナちゃん大丈夫？ 我が輩を誰だと思ってる。大船に乗ったつもりで。にゃい。何今の音。にゃにゃにゃ。
おいクイーン、何してんだよ。世紀末ドライブか。
私じゃないわよ。何これ、ハンドルが勝手に重くて故障しちゃった。挙動がおかしいぞ。
拾い食いでもしたんじゃないか。
Yes, our cat boss has been eating strange things.
違う。まずい。コントロールが効かねえ。
Well, everyone, hold on to something!
ブレーキが効かないわ。ほら、どうなってるの。
Welcome to... somewhere?
みんな大丈夫か。
死ぬかと思った。ジョーカー、生きてるか。
Okay, who's not dead? Sound off.
ちょっと、何ここ。
は？町？
メベントスにこんな場所あったか。
メメントスの壁をぶち抜いちゃったとか。
怪盗服ということは少なくとも現実世界じゃないようだね。
異世界？外国みたいだけど。
Yes, she literally just said isekai.
ねえみんな、異世界ナビを見て。おかしいの、何も表示されない。
Hey, the time freezing malware finally broke!
全員エラー画面？一斉に壊れたってことか。
いや、それは不自然だろう。情報が欲しいな。
Yes, the server, or, you know, it was Igor who gave it to us, right? Maybe something's gone wrong with the Velvet Room server.
何か手がかりになるものはないかな。
やっべ、札だ。
ちょっと待って、あの制服、日本の警察じゃないよね。
It is also important to note that the fact that we immediately entered this world in our Phantom Thief outfits implies that whoever owns this world already sees us as a threat because that's how the outfits work, so maybe best to avoid them.
海外の警察っぽい服だな。FPS でよく見るぞ。シャドウでもなさそうだ。なら、あの人に聞いてみるとか。
We could
は？札にこの格好で？
Yeah, that was exactly what I was about to say. I was about to say we could try, but I doubt it would go well.
そうだね。ここで悩んでても仕方ないか。ということで、クイーンよろしく。
I mean, yeah, I would say that she's the one best qualified for that, but not in that get up.
私？言い出しっぺの法則だな。やってみるけど、もし何かあったらみんなフォロー頼むからね。
Yes, we may need to be prepared to punch somebody if this goes south.
すみません。
ん？なんだお前ら、その格好は。やっぱそうなるよな。クイーンなんてただでさえ世紀末感すげえし。
I mean, you aren't exactly one to talk.
私たち仮装パーティーに行く途中で道に迷ってしまって。
Okay, that's actually a decent angle. You might also notice that everyone now has blue shadows.
なんてベタなんだ。だがそれがいい。
I mean, yeah, it's our best shot at this.
仮装パーティー？手が込んでるな。
おお、信じたぞ。 意外とチャラいな。
Yeah, that's because we didn't use Arn.
ここまで本格的な衣装だとかえって信憑性が増すのかもしれん。
で何の用だ？
ここがどこなのか位置情報を教えていただけませんか？
ここはカモシティの一番街だが、大都会カモシティを知らないのか？
Kamo City.
なんかムカつく地名だな。てかジョーカー知ってっか？だよな。一度聞いたら忘れなさそうだし。
新しいテーマパークか何かかな。
Well, if it is, it's the worst one ever.
なんか怪しいな。お前らどこから来た？
All three of these answers are terrible. Yeah, this one.
なんだと？お前ら仮装パーティーに行くんじゃなかったのか？
めっちゃ疑われてない？
これはちょっとまずい流れだね。
不審な奴らめ。何をしていたか詳しく話を聞こうか。
待ってください。私たちは本当。おい、何かいっぱい来たぞ。
Oh no, the racist stereotype backup has arrived! So, I can, kind of... I mean, this looks really bad, but this is also meant to be a problematic movie in-universe, so that, I guess, kind of explains it.
そこの仮面集団挙動が怪しい。まとめて連行しろ。了解した。応援する。
And yes, the fact his name is also Fat Policeman. Again, problematic movie in-universe.
やっべ、みんな走れ。
ごめんなさい。
逃がすな。捕らえろ。
Can you scan this place? We definitely need to find an escape route because I'm pretty sure that directly in front of us has been ruled out. Also, the voice acting budget just ran out. Everything clear in that direction? Let's go. So yeah, now we have our movement tutorial. You only move with the D-pad. The circle pad is used to look around. The D-pad lets us turn left and right and move up and down, and we can use L and R to sort of strafe left and right. We can't go back that way, but all we can do now is just step forward, shuffle to the side, just keep going, and see there's a car ad that says Vroom. Now, this is actually really cool. The shadows seem different to the usual ones the Phantom Thieves have dealt with. Why is that?
とにかく。
Joker.
Okay, so we got some people covering the rear. We've got some people in the front to assist. Lights, camera, action!
Yosh.
So yeah, if you've played earlier Persona games like 3 and 4, these shadows are very familiar to you. But the Persona 5 party hasn't dealt with the generic shadows. They've only seen shadows that take the form of personas. And yep, it's time for our justification for why we're reset to level 1. Yeah, this movie is so problematic that everybody's level resets. They were that horrified. So, only some of the in-battle dialogue is subtitled? Don't expect me to subtitle everything. I'll try and subtitle what I can, but, yeah, it's kind of a shame that I wish they had actually put more subtitles to this. So, yeah, in the Persona Q games, you fight as a party of 5 in a front and a back row. The front row takes more damage, but also deals more damage with melee attacks. The back row takes less damage, is targeted less often, but deals less damage with melee, and can only attack the enemy front row with melee attacks. Unless they have ranged weapons, which fortunately, both Morgana and Panther have. You can also press the Y button to change your formation. which I believe you get as a free action at the start of every turn. But I'm fine with this setup, though if you are playing on Risky, you might want to put Joker in the back. So yeah, you can press the R button to check the status of the party, all of our buffs, and see some more stats on characters, their attack and defense, HP and SP. And we can press the L button to check the enemies. All of these ones, yeah, this is one of those games with a trial and error analysis system. I much prefer how it worked in Persona 3 Reload, but you know, that was way before then. Those 3 slots next to the enemy's name, that'll all be explained later. But for now, we have Joker. Joker has single shot, which pierces from the front row to the back row. He also has Aha as a light curse attack. Oh, this part of the song is so good. You don't often hear that in normal battles. But anyway, let's use Aha on those. Makoto has Frey for a nuclear attack. Let's aim that at the Cupid. You have Sai. You also have Twin Slash. Stronger in Boost. What is that? I guess we'll find out about that later. I'll aim a Sai attack at that. Yeah, Wakai no Debanda. That's just, it's my turn. Morgana is our main healer for the moment. I think I'll actually go for Garu on that, and then Arn is going to Argy the other agitating Hobleri. So yeah, you actually select actions for your entire party first, and then all of them go in order of speed. That is different to how most Persona games work. Okay, no weakness on that. Any weakness on Frey? Nope. Okay then. Didn't sound like a weakness on fire either. What about Sai? Well, they're down at least. Yeah, there are some unique inter-party interactions after battle, which is also why it sucks that they're not subtitled. Except Morgana, whose standard weapon has become his gun, the slingshots. So, the shadows here are too smart to realize that they're fake guns. And well, I guess we now know what for real is in Japanese, Maji, but I don't think I'll be tracking it this time. Just go straight. Okay then. Well, let's turn around. Okay, we can't see that thing just yet, but trust me, it's bad. If you're familiar with Etrian Odyssey, you probably know what Futaba's alluding to. Well, we have to go with I think at this point. We are completely cornered. And here it is!
It's the Chicken Man!
Yeah, just like Max Middleman, Ryuji's Japanese VA is very hammy, and it fits.
あんなやつ見たことないぞ。
あいつからはものすごい力を感じる。危険だ。
Yusuke, please do not try and sketch it.
考えてる暇はねえ。戦略的撤退ってやつだ。
If you are familiar with Etrin Odyssey, you might be familiar with the Reaper in Persona. Think of this as like a mini Reaper, and that every dungeon has its own unique variety of Reapers that all move in different ways.
行くっきゃねえな。
飛び込め。
And with that, our story begins.
Your storyline all decided before the curtain rises. How does it feel to be in right? What fate so certain? How can it change a thing if your life has to reach you into stone? Your life's written into progress by another. Can you make it your own?
What you gon' do? What you gon' do? Your life not written by someone but you. What you gon' do? What you gon' do? Just stand up and fight.
You are looking without seeing. It's not like you were lying. The sound had it playing. From what you could find, just hiding inside. You're ready, always free. Now you're looking and you're seeing. Your every choice is fine. Not following the freedom. And the storyline is your sort of making. The road is taken. Could be what we're meant to be.
.眩しいな。
ここって。
And Yusuke, Futaba, and Joker are still just lying down.
なんだここ。さっきまで街にいたよな。
おい、見ろ。スクリーンらしきものがあるぞ。
ここ映画館か。でもうちらしか人いなくない？なんか不気味っていうか。
You know, I also realized it's kind of sad that, like, eventually movie cinemas are gonna be unrelatable to most of the younger generation, like, because they are really dying out.
状況がまるで飲み込めん。我が輩たちはメメントスにいたはずだ。なのに知らない町にいて、次は映画館。
Yeah, some city. He said Shiranai Machi, literally city we don't know in Japanese, but yeah, that does get the point across.
つか服戻ってんぞ。
本当だ。我が輩だけどうなってんだ？まあいい。とにかくお前らの服が戻ったってことは、ここが認知世界と仮定するなら警戒されてない区域ってことになるな。
けどここでも異世界ナビは使えないみたいだね。
And why exactly is not being able to use the creepy program that restores itself every time we try and delete it a bad thing?
さっきの町とは違う場所のようだけど、どちらにせよ異常事態みたいだ。
ね、ちょっと誠と春は？
は？その辺に。っていねえ。
Wait, we left the waifu behind? How dare you!
もしかしてはぐれたのか。
Joker is going to destroy you all.
マジかよ。
急いで探さなくちゃ。さっきの場所にいるのかも。
だがどうやって戻る？俺たちもどこから出てきたのか。
待って、少し落ち着こう。この建物のどこかにいるかもしれない。あそこに扉がある。ここから外に出てみるというのは？
Yes, please go through that door so this annoying projector sound stops.
そうだな。悪い。動揺しちまった。
いろいろ突っ込みどころはあるが、今は誠と春を探すのが先決だな。
そうと決まれば行くぞ。みんな警戒は怠るなよ。
Oh, it's gone. Popcorn and movie memorabilia.
まあそうだな。
Yeah, I was cleaning out my sister's room and she had one of those, like, cups from, like, the old Avengers movies.
勝手に食べちゃダメだからね。
Like the, you know, the popcorn buckets.
ここに誠と春がいるわけねえか。他行こうぜ。
Yeah, as long as there's no Like a Dragon merch, Makoto's probably not going to be around here. There's a ticket station here, or ticket box.
電源は入ってるみたいだが、何のチケットが出てくるんだ？
Oh no, I can just seriously imagine. I wonder which one of the Phantom Thieves will be the first one to be like, there's no one here, I can give myself as many tickets to R-rated movies as I want! Sadly, it's probably Futaba, out of all of us.
金を入れたら動くかもしれんな。持ってないが。
Also, yeah, all of our money from Persona 5 seems to have disappeared.
何もなさそうだな。次行こうぜ。
Morgana, could you spot us some of your magic anti-softlock fund from, you know, what he uses to pay for the train fare if we have no money? The sign on the door says authorized. No, it clearly says staff only.
関係者以外立ち入り禁止か。さすがに鍵がかかってるね。
Yeah, I believe Kankeisha is like literally connected people.
ピッキングで開けられるかもしれないが、今は誠と春を探すのが先だ。他を見て回ろうぜ。
What if they're behind that door? Lockpick it now! Like, I don't know what the exact stats were, but I feel like, and I'm really sorry to fans of, like, Arn and Futaba, but I feel like Makoto and Haru were probably the two most popular waifu options when Persona 5 was first out, so I'm sure a lot of P5 fans are particularly freaking out at these absences specifically.
すげえ。映写室って初めて入ったわ。
おい、ベタベタ触るなよ。精密機械はデリケートなんだからな。
Oh, right, yeah, I just cut off Rigi there. Yeah, with just the Japanese dialogue, sometimes it can be hard to tell when the voice acting ends. And I could use the auto feature, but I want to have time to be able to talk in between lines. Meanwhile, mysterious creepy thing that gets its own cutscene, so obviously it's important. Oh, if I remember right, there's a really funny dialogue choice coming up. Cryptic black object.
うわ、なんじゃこいつ。
シャドウか。
Well, it actually looks like a Maya.
怪しいけど敵っぽくない？なんなのこれ？
Yeah, our outfits haven't spawned yet.
襲ってこねえだろうな。気をつけろよ。平気か？大丈夫か？ボヨンボヨンするだけか？
おーし、誰か話しかけてみろ。
もしもーし、聞こえてますか？
反応がない。ただのボヨンボヨンのようだ。
Tada no boyo boyo, I love that.
こちらからの呼びかけにも答えず、動かないし喋らない。ひょっとして人形じゃないのか。
なんだ人形か。で かすぎるからせめて7分の1スケールにしてくれ。
Why would somebody want something in that scale that's also boingy? I don't think I want to know.
ここにも2人はいないな。他を当たるか。
ダメだ、どこにもいない。
扉があっても開かなかったし、どうなってんの？
まるで神隠しにあったようだな。そもそもこの場所も謎が多い。
Yeah, that phrase he just used kamikakushi, like that is actually the Japanese title of Spirited Away.
映画館なのは間違いなさそうだけど、どこか変だね。人の気配も全くしないし。
Well, I mean, that would be kind of par for the course if we'd been warped to 2020, but the Phantom Thieves are, they live in 2016.
けどマジで俺らどっからここに入ってきたんだ？
Above, the side, or upwards?
確かに上下移動というよりは水平移動の感覚だったね。
Yeah, we jumped through a wall to get here.
いやだから
おい、ちょっとこっちに来い。モルガナ、なんか見つけたのかも。
行ってみよう。
Also, everyone's shadows are now orange.
モルガナどうした？なんか手がかりあったか？
この扉、見てみろ。扉？
Multiple thick chains on the door. There's a handcuff chain, a vine and music note chain, a dinosaur chain, and a sci-fi chain. I wonder if those are related to the dungeons we'll be exploring.
んだこりゃ。
厳重だな。
っていうか、これどう見ても私たち閉じ込められてんじゃん。拉致監禁きた
おいモルガナ、ピッキングで開けられねえのか？
ー。試したが、鍵穴が妙な形をしてて無理だ。普通の鍵じゃない。
Not even the eternal lockpick can break these, apparently.
この鍵さえなんとかなれば、こっから外に出れると思うんだが。
Oh, right, it got changed to Permapeak and Royal. I don't know why they changed the name of that item.
そうだよね。ねえ、どうにかできないかな？
Explode door.
くっせ、ダメだ。全然無理。
I said explode door, not throw Ruji at door. There is a difference.
力技では無理そうか。
一通り探したが見つからなかった。ネズミの一匹すらいなかったぜ。
Not even a mouse. It's not that I like to chase mice or anything.
ところでそっちは誠と春はどうなった？
探したけどダメだ、見つからない。
手がかりすらもねえよ。
出入り口が閉ざされているとなると、外に出たとも思えない。
ねえ、さっきの場所に戻ってみない？もしかしたら二人とも遅れてきてるかもしれないし。確かにアンドノの言う通りだな。ここで考えてても仕方ない。
Yep, Andono. Lady An. Yep, literal translation of that.
よし、一旦戻るぞ。
Well, at least the projector's stopped.
相変わらず気味悪い場所だな。
ああ、今にも幽霊が化けて出そうな。
やめろ、お稲荷。ねえ、誰かいる？
本当に出たか？
てめえら誰だ？
警戒しろ。
I mean, they don't look that dangerous.
やめていただけますか？彼女、光さんが怖がっています。
Okay, Hikari. Yes, that is her name.
敵じゃないの？
That was a quick introduction.
そうみたいだな。猫。
驚かせて申し訳ありません。あなたたちは一体？
私はこの映画館の支配人を務めております。ナギと申します。
Well, she's very, very polite. If you know Japanese, you can clearly hear that in her voice. And she has the same name as a dragon god, kind of goddess from... It's Nagi's lore in Shadow Dragon is really weird.
支配人無人の映画館じゃなかったのかよ
Oh, that's funny. I'm playing another game, Claire Obscure, where a curator is important.
ひょっとしてあなたたちも閉じ込められてしまったのかしら
Trapped as well. That would imply that you two are also stuck here.
あなたたちもって、それはつまりナギさんたちも
The fact that I am on the same page logically as Akechi hurts my soul.
信じられないかもしれませんが突然の出来事でした気づいたらお客様が一斉に消えて出入り口には頑丈な鍵がかかっていて慌てて館内を調べたらこちらのお客様ひかりさんも取り残されていたの
Okay, so she is the only theater goer left.
私は支配人の責任として彼女を保護しています
その私は
落ち着いて双葉大丈夫だから
お前体すごい震えてるぞ
ショックのせいでしょうか彼女ひどく怯えているわ少しでも不安が拭えればと思って私もそばについていますがそうだ春と誠を知りませんか
It is interesting how Arn is calling them just Haru and Makoto without honorifics. There's no way they redubbed this just for English with the Japanese VAs like they did with Tokyo Mirage Sessions, because, maybe they do actually just call each other by first names and no honorifics in the Japanese script, which would be very, very strange for Japan, but it's possible.
友達なんですけどここに来る途中ではぐれちゃって探してるんです
友達
Tomodachi. I'm sorry, I cannot hear that without thinking of Tales of Graces now.
見てない探してるんだけど見つからないの
Also, yeah, we just said, oh, hey, have you seen Makoto and Haru with no context? Like, clearly these two would have no idea who those names refer to.
その友達はどんな方外見の特徴とか写真とか
Yeah, that would help, actually.
どうなってトゲトゲとおの
Toge Toge is actually, that's the same, that's why Togepi is called that. Yeah, it's spikes in Japanese.
そうだユウスケ似顔絵描けない
筆記具があれば書けるな
わかりましたではお持ちしますね
Yeah, I mean, they've probably got some leftover paper somewhere. That's not
こんな
bad.
感じだな
I mean, it is Yusuke we're talking about, but still, I'm impressed.
似てるこの方たちは確か映画でひかりさん知ってるのか
そのなぎさん
内緒話
直接話してくれりゃいいのに
No, she seems to be very much in shock.
無理もないヤンキーっぽいやつもいるしな
Oh, that's interesting. Yankee. Yeah, that's a specific type of, like, subculture in Japan that Ryuji does resemble.
誰がヤンキーだ喋る猫のがよっぽど変だろ
変つうな
Oh, you took offense to that part, did you?
話が終わったみたい私もひかりさんもやはりお二人を見ていました皆さんと同じあの映画の中で
映画の中って
このお二人も元は皆さんとご一緒でしたよね
いやまあ確かに一緒にいたけどよ
映画の中とは意味がわからないな
細かいことは後回しだ結局二人はどうなってるんだ
鴨志ダーマンという登場人物に捕らえられてしまいました
That doesn't sound good.
鴨志ダーマン 鴨志田ってどういうこと？
この音は
また始まるのね。
Oh no, here it comes.
始まるって何がだ？きっと銅が映画を流し始めたんだと思います。
どう映画
見ればお分かりになります。
Are you ready for the movie no one asked for? Remember when I said this was a problematic movie in universe? Well, about that.
街の平和が乱れる時、絶対的なヒーローが現れる。鴨志ダーマン。圧倒的で超無敵。鴨志ダーマンこそ正義。正義と書いて鴨志ダーマン。正義が権力を振るい、権力ある正義に従う平和な世界。そこに絶対的なヒーローに不平を並べる愚かな悪が現れる。なんたる比例、正義のヒーローに意見するなど言語道断。果たして鴨志ダーマンは正義に立てつく悪を倒すことができるのか。絶対的ヒーロー鴨志ダーマン、絶賛上映中。
He's the hero the world doesn't deserve or need.